Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Guys, as I already explained you that we are solving here the past paper of AP Calculus 2018 and we already solved question number 1 to question number 13. Now we have to move on question number 14. And the question number 14 is what is the absolute minimum value mean what is the value of the function, the minimum value of the function, or you can say absolute minimum value of the function. Equation is given y is equal to minus cos x minus sin x. This is given on the closed interval 0 to pi by 2, means from 0 to pi by 2 in the first quadrant you have to tell us what is the minimum value of this equation, right? So the options are here. So I'm going to solve this question. Answer. Okay, so here you can say, first of all I'm going to write down y. The equation is y is equal to minus cos x minus sin x, right? Remember one thing in your mind, either the function has the maximum value or the minimum value. For example I have this one, right? So this is your minimum value and this is what maximum value. So if this is minimum or maximum, the derivative at this point is known as a turning point, right? The derivative here is always 0. So if you say this is minimum, right, and this point is what maximum, for example this is, we have 2 points here, at both point dy by dx is 0, always. Okay, for the maximum or the minimum, you can say this is minimum one, right? This is maximum one. So for the minimum or the maximum, right? Or you can say from decreasing to increasing, mean decrease to increase or increasing to decreasing, we will always pass by where? From the critical points, right? So at this point, the derivative at the critical point is always 0, right? So if this is minimum value or the maximum value, we know that the derivative must be a 0. So using that concept we are going to solve this question. So first of all we will find dy by dx. So this is dy by dx. So this is minus d by dx of cos x is always minus sin x, and d by dx of sin x is cos x. This is the derivative, and this is dy by dx. This is minus minus plus, so we have what? Sin x, and this is what? Minus cos x. This is the derivative of this one, but at this point you can say at minimum or maximum the dy by dx will be 0. So we can say here this is 0, and now we have what? A sin x minus cos x. Okay, for example now we just write down here, this is the turning point, right? The minimum or the maximum doesn't matter, right? Okay, so for example if you have what, and this is sin x cos x. One more thing, as you can see, if you know the turning point, for example, right, if you know the turning point, so before the turning point, if this is minimum point, the slope will be always from negative to positive, right? This means the slope before the turning point will be negative and after the turning point it will be positive. If something is from decreasing to increasing, it means the function has the minimum, right? And the opposite is like the same things. If before the turning point, if the slope or you can say the function is increasing, or after the turning point the function is decreasing, then we can say the point is maximum. Okay, so this is a different thing. So first of all you have to find the critical point here, CP. What is the CP here between this interval? Okay, because this is the closed interval is given from 0 to pi by 2. Tell me what is the critical point, means the critical point where the graph turn, right? So here you can say 0. So minus cos x comes this side, so it becomes cos x. This is what? Sin x. So just divide by sin x here and sin x. So you can say, sorry, just divide by cos x, not by sin x. You can, but tan x is so easy to solve. Okay, so we can say this is what? Cos x, and this is also what? Cos x. So this is also cos x. Okay, so here cos cancel, we have 1, and sin over cos x always tan x, or we can say tan x is 1 So here tan x. In the trigonometric function, okay, if we talk about the tan x, just tan x, we will see from 0 to 90, there is only one specific value from 0 to pi by 2 where tan is 1. At that time, the sine and cosines are 45 degree, right? So when sine and cosine are 45 degree, at that time the tan is always 1. So we can say at tan 45 you can say pi by 4, this is a degree, and here I'm going to write down radian, pi by 4, and so you can say pi by 4, tan pi by 4. There are a lot of values of x where tan is 1, but the closed interval is given from 0 to pi by 2, so I'm not going to take any value which is greater than pi by 2. Means we are talking about only the first quadrant from 0 to pi by 2. So from 0 to pi by 2 only we have one value which is pi by 4 where the value is 1. So we can say x is pi by 4. We just find out what dy by dx is 0, and we can find out turning point. And one more thing I want to tell you, actually this is not the correct time to explain this one, but I want to tell you, if someone said find the critical points, you can find a lot of turning points are known as critical points, right? So how? So dy by dx must be 0 or undefined. So if you have two situations, dy by dx 0 or undefined, because sometimes it has a turning point, sometimes this is also like this one. Okay, so this is what you can say where dy by dx does not exist. So you can say we have two things. So here you can say sin x minus cos x is a simple equation. So this condition is not available here. It's not possible. So leave it, and we will discuss about this one only where dy by dx is 0. We just find out pi by 4. So I know that at this point we can say the function is what? Increasing to decreasing. And one more thing, if you want to prove it, okay, if you want to prove it, you can say your interval was 0 to pi by 2, yes or no? For example, 0 to pi by 2, right? If somebody says just prove it, this function has minimum only. Okay, so 0 to pi by 2, this is the range is given here, 0 to pi by 2, and this is my turning point, which is what? The turning point is what? Pi by 4. This is my turning point. So you have two intervals from 0 to pi by 4 and pi by 4 to pi by 2. Yes. So you know in minimum, okay, the function is this one. The slope is always what? Negative here. The slope is always negative. Slope is just like a number, right? So where is the function here? You can say this is your slope dy by dx, sin x minus cos x. Okay, just think about it only. Okay, just think about it. I see some problems in the marker. You can say here, just think about it. Okay, so if 0 to pi by 4, okay, means 0 to 45 degree, I'm going to take 30 degree for example to check. So this will be always what? Sorry, you will see it's always negative. It's always negative. See, sin 30 minus cos 30. So sin 30 is how much? Sin 30 minus cos 30. Sin 30 is 1 by 2. Cos 30 is sin 60, means root 3 by 2. This is 1 by 2. Means 0.5. And if you say this is 1.732, and this is what? 2. So as you can say, if you say 1.7 for example, 1.732 is the value of root 3, 0.5, and this is 1.7 for example. So this is what? 0.8 something. So which one is greater? So you find this is negative, right? So I know that the slope is here negative, and after pi by 4 this will be positive. You will see the slope is positive. You can take 60 for example. 60 means pi by 3. So if you put again 60 means sin 60 and minus cos 60 to check. So sin 60 is root 3 by 2 and cos 60 means sin 1 by 2, and you know this value will be always positive, right? When you solve this one, because root 3 by 2 is greater than 1 by 2. So as you can say, this is the slope is changing from negative to positive. It means in the questions, the function has the minimum. Okay, so where is going to be minimum? At this critical point, which is what? Pi by 4. But here we have to find what? Minimum value. We have to find minimum value. Minimum value means we have to find the value of y, not x, in a function. Okay, so well, I'm going to solve this question. I'm going to solve this question. The option D was, what was option D? -1. Okay, we are going to solve this question here. Okay, so what will I do? I will just put this value here. Okay, so you know y is equal to minus cos, and this is what, pi by 4, 45 degree, and this is 45 degree. Guys, I want to tell you, 45 degree means at the 45 degree sine and cos has the same values, right? Which is 1 by under root 2. So cos 45 is 1 by root 2, and sine 45 is 1 over root 2. 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2, you can say minus 2 by under root 2, right? And 2 can be written as what? 2 can be written as under root 2 into under root 2, and this is what, under root 2, under root 2 cancel, you have minus under root 2. This is the final answer. This is called the minimum value. This is called minimum value. So the minimum value occurred at pi by 4, and the minimum value is minus under root 2. It means answer C is correct, right? Means minus 1 by root 2, minus 1 by root 2, minus 2 by root 2. This is cancelled. I hope guys you understand everything. If you have a problem, you should write down the comment. Whenever we have a time, I will reply you. Assalamu alaikum. Bye bye.